Oh, glory to Jesus Christ. Welcome to St. Cyril Methodist Orthodox Church in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Father Gregory, the janitor. All right, I'm not the janitor. Actually, I'm the priest, but I spent most of this afternoon putting together furniture, so I feel a little bit like a janitor. Not that there's anything wrong with being a janitor. Being a janitor was my first job, and I rather enjoyed it. But I didn't want to talk to you about that today, but instead I wanted to talk to you a little bit about critical thinking. Critical thinking is a buzzword. It's something that I heard a lot when I taught. We have to teach our students critical thinking. But recently there was an article or a little essay written from the undergraduates at the University of Chicago. And then they pointed out, and I think quite correctly, that critical thinking, the way that it's actually developed, is really about showing the way in which a particular theory or idea or individual really falls short of certain, frankly, arbitrary goals or standards for moral life. Critical thinking has come to mean effectively showing how someone is wrong. And that I think is different than critical thinking, maybe in a more classical sense, which, and the article points out, which is concerned with logic, with reflecting on ontology, the nature of being, metaphysics, things like that. And in the Christian tradition, we don't really so much have critical thinking in sort of that contemporary, almost Marxist sense. But we do actually look at logic and evidence, and we see how this all goes together to make a cogent argument. At least when I taught, when I would talk about critical thinking, I would tell the students that what we need to do is understand in an appreciative fashion the strengths and limitations of a thinker or of a particular idea. And I think if that's what we mean by critical thinking, it's probably fine. Is our understanding, though, not only of the limitations, but also the strength, and is it appreciative? We have to have a critical self-knowledge in that sense about ourselves. We have to know our strengths and our limitations, and it has to be an appreciative sense. So many of us have a sense of our own strengths or maybe our own weaknesses, but it's not appreciative. It's not well balanced. It's not, for example, something that helps us understand that our weaknesses are what make room for other people, even as our strengths are meant to help lift people up. And this is the case not only with individuals in the moral and the spiritual life, but also with ideas. The limits of an idea or a philosophy or theory is meant to make room for other ways of thinking, for other philosophies, for other ideas. Likewise, the strength of an idea is determined precisely to the degree that it is able to foster excellence in us or in other people or in society. This is really what we're looking for. In the moral life, we talk about virtue as those habits of thought and action that foster human excellence, a life which is balanced and not prone to extremes. This becomes the foundation for the life of holiness. So when we as Orthodox Christians talk about critical thinking, what we are looking for is how does an idea lay the foundation? How does it participate in fostering excellence and laying a foundation for holiness? This, I think, is different than looking at an idea as simply right or wrong in a very abstract or objectified sense. So the question really is, when I'm confronted with an idea, is how does this serve in any way human excellence and holiness? Thought about in those terms, we discover that we actually have more allies, more people who agree with us than we might imagine, and that even those who disagree with us frequently disagree with us not in a fundamental sense, but on particulars. Well, anyway, you just think about that. How is it that you can foster the strengths of others? How is it that your weaknesses can make room for other people? Well, we're going to have Vespers here in about 40 minutes. Hopefully someone will come in to help with the chanting. If not, we'll have Reader's Vespers. But 5 o'clock, Reader's Vespers, or just or not, or with the congregation, we'll have Vespers. Hope you'll be able to be with us. Tomorrow morning, we'll have liturgy at 9:30 for the Sunday of the Myrrh-bearing women, the third Sunday of Pascha. Again, hope you're able to be with us. If you're not able to be with us here in Mad City, if you're watching online, give us a thumbs up, a heart, make a comment, ask a question, just so that we know you're there. That is really always helpful. All right. Well, I've got to go because I got to get ready for Vespers and transition out of janitor into priest. So God bless everyone. Christ is risen, and see you in about 40 minutes. Bye-bye.